all aboard!
Right, here we go. I'm doing something I said I'd never do. I'm not the biggest Hornby fan of the new product, I confess that. And I'm not a fan of TT really. But with this newest set that's come out, they've covered me liking of Hornby 040s. I like little 040 tank engines. They've got a couple of wagons, transformer, tracker e-railer, and at a realistic price, let's be honest. All the rest were way overpriced in my opinion for what they are, considering the cheap Chinese made. But it's a nice little set, and I don't know where I'm going with it, to be honest. I'm looking what's available, and I am thinking of doing a little country station with a run around and a goods shed and a couple of shunting lines at the side of the goods shed, like cold states, maybe an engine shed, but it's not essential. And I wanted it to make it in as confined a space as possible and make it artistic, but I can make by hand, and my own background painting rather than buying made backgrounds. It's just wherever I'm going with it. Anyway, let's have a quick look. Drop it down. I've already had a quick look. I'll mention who I got it off, by the way. I got it from Javelin, and I got the rapid delivery on it 2 days, and to be honest, it was very fast, and it's all packed nicely. And what you get with it, let's have a look. Tilt it down. Move the camera around a bit. Yeah, hey. Right, that's a bit too close. Really? My spots aren't that good either. Like, get quite a bit of shadow. But hey ho. Yeah. So you've got a couple of straights. One's a power clip and an uncoupler by the looks. You've got curves. There's obviously no points, it's a cheap basic set. You've got a basic controller, basic power pack, like just run of the mill. But here we are, we'll get on to the fun part. I'll find a bit with some lights as well. Bit nicer than that. Right, first off, we've got a lovely little engine, and it looks great, to be honest. Can't fault it. And it's got good decent tampo printing by looks of it on the sides. It's a nice little weight for each side. What I'd criticise it for, and I don't think others have said, I think I'll paint it and weather it, but what I'll do, the first thing I'll do, is paint it so it hides that chrome effect behind wheels. If I'd have been making that, I'd have put a process on the metal called night riding and blackened it. I'd have blackened the wheels so it doesn't show silver behind the spoking. But that's just me. But it will get painted with me. I like the details, like the boiler band, the brass piping, the red whistle there, or safety lever, whatever it is. I may well cut off and sand down the handrail at the back and make me own out of bar, and may well put my own lamp irons on as well on the front too. May well make a little hand lamp for it, or maybe even use an N-gauge. Might get away with N-gauge, we'll have a look, unless somebody does lamps in TT. Have to have a look, but I've got other stuff on the way for doing a layout. Anyway, let's compare it to a double O, another 040. So now you can see that next to Hornby's Holden, and it'd have been comparable sizes, but the Holden, the Hornby 001, absolutely dwarfs it. So yeah, it's pretty good shrinkage for if you want to build a shunting layout, which will be my plan. I'm thinking of a shunting layout with a very small country station, and it's going to be a terminus station, so I'm thinking of a good shed there and terminus station, and I'm thinking of scenic breaks at either end like bridges with a fiddle yard at one end for them to run in from. So should be nice. I've got a box made up, but it's how big. We'll have a look in a minute how big that scales up with my section that's already built. But anyway, onwards, let's have a look at wagons next. Anyway, first up is the best wood wagon, the open coal wagon, and it's basic, but what do you expect out of a basic set? Basic 100 quid set. To be honest, what can you get for 100 quid nowadays? Let's be honest, if you double O, it only gets you one locomotive in most cases, unless you want a little 040. And you can get a full set, yeah, in Hornby's double O gauge, but for under 100 quid, but it involves tooling they've been using for decades. It's not a new tooling, and it's not a new engine type they've done, and it doesn't involve new rolling stock like this basswood. Yeah, it's not the most detailed underneath like some of them, but it's adequate if you're building a railway. Certainly adequate for somebody who's starting up with a first train set to make a shunting yard. See, the others, you were at nearly 200 quid with one of them, and 250 were it with the other, and that, it's just silly money for anybody just starting up. You don't know whether you'll like it or you'll stick with it. You just want something to have an horse around with on rainy days or whatever. you only get dedication later when you start enjoying doing something. Anyway, next up is the Southern Region, Southern Railways, closed van. That's a nice little thing, it'll be good, weathered up. It's going to be weathered down, sorry, and the wheels are going to be painted, get that shiny chrome look off them. But yeah, that's adequate for what we'll be doing. But again, put next to that, even a van put next to it is small. Anyway, let's pull a little bit of track and have a run with them. Why is that not moving? There we go. And it'll be because it needs running in, but it's a bit noisy at the moment. Yeah, it'll just need running in. Running in and possibly the rails cleaning. Mind you, I've never been a fan of Hornby's controllers, and this one's out already. Well, try the other way. There we go. Yeah, it just needs a bit of a run till newness wears off. Till newness, well, so small compared to double O. In fact, if I put me on there, let it have a bit of a run. Give it a wee bit of a run, the little rascal. And do it the other way. Well, other way. There we are, it's had a little bit of a run now from new. Get stuff moving from being stored in a box. See how it goes now. There we go. What a beautiful pro. You can't ask better for that on a pro. That'll be beautiful on a shunting layout. See if the controller will let me flick from backwards to read forwards. Not without stalling it. Turn it down. Just give it a nudge. Still needs a bit of oh. My old shaky hands. Hang on. Well, he's well coupled. Would have been better uncoupling it I have an uncoupler ramp and didn't use it. Well done. Now why is that stopped? He doesn't, or just in between. Probably didn't flick the switch far enough. And still not running proper. But yeah, you can't fault it for 100 golden bear tokens. The more that's run, the better it'll. The better it'll run. But yeah, it's a beautiful runner. Right, now then, I have a box section that I've built for double O gauge for a photographic corner, and I was going to use it for N gauge, but let's have a look how this weighs up on it. I may well use it for this, for a layout. Now then, cut this size and work for a layout. I'm thinking of a little station, possibly a goods shed. I'm doing it because it's single line and a terminus station. I want to do a run round for the engine. So give us your thoughts, see what you think. I think I'll just do it because I want a road with tunnels. Well, it doesn't have to be tunnels. That end, just the road overhead with a road level station. Or maybe a railway level station. Who knows? But I think I've got enough room there for a... Let's have a look. Let's have a point around where I think of doing it. Right, I'd be thinking of an overhead road there, possibly a couple of cars on. I'm going to paint my own back scene. I'll probably add another board over here with a cutout for it to come in under a bridge, or possibly a scenic break with trees and stuff. I'm thinking of a little platform down there, a run around loop there for it to, so I'd obviously have to come back further back to put a point in at either end so it can run round, and points going round there to a goods shed and a couple of sidings. I think it's workable on that board in TT. Give me your ideas down the bottom. Anyway, tatty pie for now. Tatty pie.